In this lecture, we're going to improve on our fortune teller app and make it work better. If you remember, we had something like this to control the flow in our program. We had a while loop through which we could go to control if our program could go on or stop. We'll let the user tell us if they want to continue. They could say that by printing a Y. If they want to stop the program, they could print an N and stop the program. And we grab the data and use that to let the loop keep running or stop it altogether. You saw how this could work. We also saw that we were storing our prediction data into a bunch of variables. And this was really not good because if you have, for example, 1,000 predictions, then you have 1,000 variables to keep track of in your program. That's not really cool. Another thing is that we had to go through the switch statement to really pick which prediction to show, and that was really ugly. It's not how you want to do things. In this lecture, we're going to change a few things. The first is how we store the prediction data, and we're going to be using a multidimensional array of characters, or specifically a 2D array of characters, and that's going to be really nice. We can store our data like this, and instead of keeping track of several variables like we did, we have one variable, which is really nice, and we can use the angle bracket notation to target each prediction in this multidimensional array here. The second thing we're going to change is how we target each prediction. We're going to have a one-liner here, and we can use angle bracket notation to target it with our random number that we generate in our program. And with this, we can get rid of the entire switch statement, and this is going to be really cool. Okay, this is what we are up against in this lecture. Now we're going to head over to Visual Studio Code and actually implement these changes. Okay, here we are in our working directory. The current project is Practice Fortune Teller 2 here. We're going to grab our template project and copy the files and put them where they belong in this lecture. And we're going to open this in Visual Studio Code. I have my program copied on the clipboard, so I'm going to take out everything actually and put that in. This is the version of the program we had in the last version of Fortune Teller that we did in this chapter. And again, the first problem is how we store our data here. We don't want to keep track of all these variables. So let's hide this left pane here so that we have a better chance of seeing the data nicely. What we're going to do is comment this out. Let's comment this out, and we're going to store this information in a multi-dimensional array of characters. What we are going to do instead is something like this, and you see that it has the same information. We are just storing it in a different way that is much more convenient to work with in a C++ program. The second thing we want to do, that you already know from the last slides that we did, is to comment out the entire switch statement here because we don't want it anymore. So we're going to come down here. After we have the random number, we're not going to go through the switch statement. So let's comment that out. I am trying to make sure I can see it nicely so that I don't mess things up here. I'm going to comment this out. And what we're going to do is to print whatever string is at the index of this random number here. And it is going to work. So what we can do is say stdc out. And we can say predictions. I think we have an array like that. And we're going to say random num. That's going to be our index here. And this is all we need. And after this, we can do std_ndl so that we can move to the next line. And this is really all we need to do to get this to work. One thing you should notice is that the numbers we generate are going to be between 0 and 10. And inside here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things. So it's going to target everything here. And we have just lost the occasion to say, I don't see anything. But not to worry, we can take this message here and put it in our string. And it's going to be accounted for in what we print. Okay, after we do the changes here, our program is going to work. Let's make sure it works. And then show you how improved it is. The build is good. And let's bring up a terminal so that we can play with this a little bit. So we're going to clear and run rooster. You're going to see that it's going to ask my name. I'm going to say Daniel, and it's going to say a prediction. I'm going to say yes, I want to go on. It's going to say prediction. It's going to keep telling me thanks. And if I want to end it, I'm going to say no, and it's going to end. You see that it works, but our design is really improved. We are no longer using thousands of variables to store our messages in here. We have a single variable we can use in our program. This is the first benefit. And we don't have to go through a lot of switch statements. It is really clear that we want to print the prediction at this index in the collection that we have in here. And this is really easy to work with. Okay, before I let you go, there is another improvement we can do on this program. If you notice, let's go down and see the random number we are generating. We are using a hard-coded value here. So we are assuming that we are going to have 11 thanks in this program here. But that's not always the case. What we can do is pick the number from this array here. Okay, so what we can do is, instead of modulus 11, we can say std size predictions. And this is going to give us the number of elements we have in this array here. And this is going to be much better. Now we need to make sure this is exactly what we want. For example, here we have in 11 things. Let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's true. So if we do modulus 11, it's going to give us numbers between 0 and 10. That's going to be right. And that's going to target all the indexes we have here. So this is going to be index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is going to be exactly what we want. Now our program is much better because even if we add another prediction here, let's go down and add it. What can we say? You drinking water. Why not? Or wine. You can add something like this and it is going to work. We're going to build it. And hopefully we're going to get this message here picked up by our random generator. Let's build this with GCC, and we are going to clear and run rooster, and I am going to say my name. You can say your name here and keep doing this. See if it sees us drinking wine. Let's keep going. Hopefully we're going to see that. And I see you drinking wine. You see that it's picked up the last line we just added here, and the size of the array is going to be automatically picked up here when we try to get the range of numbers we can generate. And this is really cool. This is really all we set out to do in this lecture. I hope you found it interesting. We have seen a lot of ways multi-dimensional arrays of characters can be useful. This is one of them. We have a single point of control for all the data we have in our array here. And we don't have to go switch statements to target every message in our array. And we have a single liner here, which is going to make our code easier to read and understand. This is really all we set out to do in this lecture. And this is actually the last lecture in this chapter. So we are going to stop here and recap on what we saw in this chapter in the next lecture. Go ahead and finish up here and meet me there.